Okay everyone, welcome back to my latest video on Gran Turismo 7, where we're going to witness the lowest lobbies on Gran Turismo and some driving just like this. Now, not all the driving that you're going to witness in this video of the lowest lobbies on Gran Turismo 7 is going to be of that nature. There's going to be some surprises in this video, and it was actually really nice to see. So it wasn't all terrible. There was some good, there was some bad, there was some actually quite respectful stuff. So check it out all the way through to the end, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comment section what your experience was going from the start. So I'm normally an A+ driver around 80 to 85k DR, so going back into these lobbies is an experience because I've never experienced it on Gran Turismo 7 because we automatically carried over from GT Sport. Now straight away in this lobby you can see this is our first race, and in the first 4 races you do not gain any driver rating, so it's all about just safety rating increases in the first 4. Now unfortunately the lobby bugged a little bit at the start. It can happen if someone's connection isn't the best. I normally see this on American servers, haven't really seen it on the EU before, but it happened in this one. It meant there was a gap you can see on the field, and I think 2 drivers actually got stuck, or a driver got stuck on the map you can see there. So straight away we managed to get ourselves up to P11, as I think a driver's just going for a safety approach into turn 1, which is not a bad thing. If you're on a fresh account, doing the safe approach is actually quite a good idea. Just drive away from everyone else, because it doesn't matter where you finish in these first 4 races. Now I'm not going to do that. I'm going to carry on normal, and you can see that driver there going off the track and somehow ghost straight through my car. Now we're going to watch this straight away again on the replay, because it's going to highlight the difference between ghosting systems in lower lobbies. So in lower lobbies the ghosting system works really well. So again here he misses the corner, he goes straight over, doesn't make any attempt to take a good entry. Luckily for the ghosting system, we do not get hit there. Now straight away after that we're on the right hand side of this Mazda, and he's pushing us over and pushes us all the way over until our car is drifting. Now luckily we managed to catch it, get it back in line and get going again. Now unfortunately from that angle it meant we had to go a bit wide there on the corner. Now the great penalty system on Gran Turismo decides to give me a track limit violation for that. Thank you very much PD for that, but we're going to carry on and see if we can navigate this chaos. Now like I said, remember, if you are starting a brand new account, you might want to just in the first 4 races, it might be a good idea just to let everyone go. Don't even challenge them. Don't try and battle for positions. Just drive around nice and clean, get your SR nice and improved, and get yourself a little bit ahead of these type of lobbies. It is quite a sensible thing to do, because you're not gaining driver rating in these early races. All you're gaining is safety, as we're working away again. Saved by the ghosting system yet again. Now we're going to again have a little look at that, as you can see why I'm talking about the safety and the driver rating system. So yeah, it's the best thing to do is just get yourself out, drive around from the back of the grid in the first 4, and just improve that safety rate. So a little tip for you there, if you are thinking about starting Gran Turismo 7 in sport mode, first 4 races, just think about your safety rate. Do not think about your driver rating, it's irrelevant. Now you can see here we managed to get ourselves up to P9, and we're about to take a penalty. We're going to take that at the penalty point and then push on up to the next group of cars. So we've managed to get ourselves pretty close here, and you can see there's some sort of incident there. We saw the smoke off the car. It looks like the Ferrari there, or yeah, it's a Ferrari, had punted the car in front of him and pushed him out the way. So a little bit nasty. And now by the time we catch up to that Ferrari, he didn't receive the penalty, so not 100% sure what happened there, but the penalty system seems very lenient in these early lobbies. It seems like it will let you get away with a lot more from what we witnessed when we've been working our way through the EU account. Now I've managed to get this all the way up to A+. We're going to be showing you the progress that we made through to C, B. This video here is from E to D, and then we're going to do C to B as another video. So if you want to check that out, do make sure you get subscribed, and you can witness the difference in the driving that you're going to see in the races. And there is quite a big difference in terms of aggression, the skill level, and also sometimes how dirty some people can be. They can be a bit more sly as you get a little bit further up, as you rank up into higher lobbies. Now again, a lot of what we're seeing in these lobbies is not necessarily dirty. I think my opinion of these races early on is some of it, yes, is very, very dirty. You're going to see some really horrible driving. However, you're also going to see a lot of it is just mistakes. People just not really sim racers. They're jumping on for a bit of fun. They're not used to racing. They don't have the awareness, and it's just a little bit clumsy some of the time. So in all honesty, in these early lobbies, I didn't find it too frustrating because I could see that a lot of them were just not experienced in terms of racing, and they're just jumping on for a bit of fun. So you kind of just have to put up with it in these early lobbies, but you can get out of them. Just remember, always them first 4 races, don't worry about your DR, focus on your sportsmanship rating, and you should help get into slightly cleaner lobbies by doing that. Now, we managed to get ourselves up to P4 here, going into the final lap, and we're looking at a podium here against the Viper. Can we get the slipstream? Now, I'm in the McLaren for my first race, so obviously that's why I'm short shifting. So if you're watching this wondering, why is he short shifting? The McLaren in Group 4 is a better car when you short shift around 60%. So don't rev this out, it will just slow you down on the straights. Now you can see he goes a little bit wide there. That's going to give us the inside line. Now he gives us a nice amount of space there as we go up the inside. And actually good clean racing with this guy. And this is brilliant to see actually, because this is the first ever race we went into. And again, on the inside here, he gives us a space on the outside. He doesn't run us wide. He actually holds the inside really well there and doesn't actually do anything too bad. This is great to see in a first ever race on Gran Turismo in a fresh account. Again, into this corner, it gives us space. We give him space. And this is actually brilliant. Brilliant racing to see from an early level driver. Again, he goes for a little move up the inside there. And I had to actually leave it open to him and give him credit there for an absolutely brilliant overtake up into P3. However, we're going to try and get this position back again into the final corner. So we're going to go for a little bit of an early break, try and get a better exit than him. You can see he's gone a little bit narrower into the corner. That's given myself the better entry, and he's gone to the right hand side. Now he didn't cover the inside because he might have thought we would have chopped our front end off, but really nice to see some good clean racing. And you can see, you know, clean racing is even possible in these lower ranked lobbies. So brilliant stuff that, and we're going to go home for our first race in a podium position. Now a bit unfortunate with the start when everyone bugged. The top 2 basically pulled away by a massive amount. So we're going to jump it in again. We're obviously still EB rated here now, and we are now in a different car. So the rules were, if we don't get the fastest lap, we have to go the Swift when we were doing this. But luckily for this video, you're not going to see that race because we got the fastest lap in most races that we did, no matter what car we used. But going again into turn 1, and we've got a lot of chaos. Now, one thing I've noticed straight away in these lobbies is, because of the ghosting system, if you just hang back, you can gain yourself a good 4 or 5 positions if you really want, by just being careful and hitting the right braking point and just staying out of trouble, because there's people with penalties in front. We got 2 seconds in front. Now I chose not to bump draft this Lamborghini because I wasn't sure at his level if he'd actually know what I was doing, so I decided to back out, just brake early. And then because of that, we then got up the inside, and we've gone from wherever we started up to P7 and now P6, all within the space of a few corners. So just racing quite smart there, getting ourselves up a few positions. A lot of chaos going on in the first few corners, and that's what you've got to expect in these early lobbies. Kind of predict chaos, understand where cars are going to go, and you should be able to make yourself way through the field quite comfortably. Now again here we get saved by the ghosting system as that McGann goes off the track, rejoins straight from my car. And again there, the Supra goes straight through the Ferrari. So the ghosting system doing its job in these early lobbies. Now obviously we wouldn't want this kind of ghosting system in the top lobbies because it would probably ruin most of the racing. But we'll have a little watch of this replay again. As you can see, so many cars missing their brakes, going straight through other cars, rejoins, hits from other cars, and we're just trying to stay out of trouble at this moment, trying to avoid the chaos, just trying to keep our car to, you know, away from anyone if possible basically. And again here you can see I decided not to bump draft him there, so I lifted off the throttle deliberately because I don't think he'd understand what I was doing, and I didn't want to cause any more drama. So backed off the brakes early. Again, they all go deep, and then we take a wide line, cut back on the inside here, and we managed to gain ourselves a nice amount of position. So just racing a little bit smart there gives us a nice jump over a lot of them, and now up to P5. Now obviously in these first few races it's not really that important about your DR, but we are going to get through to races where we're in D rank, so that'll be a little bit further on in this video when we've progressed through some of these early races. So you can see here again the ghosting system saves the day. It actually ghosted through the Supra as well, and we get very lucky there, and then to get up into the podium position within the lap. So from pretty much last to P3, and then by the time we get to fast forward here on the end of lap 1, we're going to start catching up to the car in front. It looks like he had a penalty there, probably for track limits or something, and we've got a massive speed advantage over the Alpha. So we're going to go straight back up to P2 now. Now we've got a bit of a gap to the leader, 5 seconds there, but it isn't going to take us too long there. As you can see, the Alpha goes off the track and cuts the whole corner to try and stay ahead. Now we've got the inside here And it was a little bit naughty what he did there, but he's going to get a penalty for it as we look behind. He picks up another 2-second penalty. So cutting tracks will give you penalties, and that's what happened to him. Now, by the end of lap 4, we've managed to catch up to P1, and he's got a penalty there. So it looks like we could be on for a little bit of a win here, as long as we just take it safe. Now, we know he's got the penalty, so we don't want to do anything stupid, because we could just sit behind him, but sometimes that's not the best thing to do, because if he brakes too early or something like that. So we're going to go for the move down the left-hand side, brake as late as we can. You can see he's going to try and brake late as well. We're going to take the inside line and then get onto that throttle. He's going to run a little bit wide there onto the outside. We give him the space and up into P1 for ourselves in the Ferrari. So this race ended up in a nice P1. So some DR not gained in this one, but SR gained. So not too bad. You can see there we're still EB rated, but your SR will slowly go up. Now, obviously, because we're going from the back of the grid, it is very slow progression with the SR, because you're going to have contact. Going from the back of the grid, you're going to have contact with other drivers, especially in a daily race B of only 5 laps. Normally, we wouldn't do this. We'd be going from the front of the grid, and we'd probably just go for wins if we were trying to rank it as quick as possible. But we're going to try and show you the experiences straight away. The Super there crashes into Lamborghini and wipes his race out there. He's in the wall, and he's done for the race pretty much. But we managed to get past the Lamborghini, and yeah, up into P10. But as I was saying, we're going to try and show you that experience that you get going through the field here. So again, into the braking zone, we're up the inside of the BMW. We've got the inside, brake as late as we can without hitting the cars front. See, the BMW comes off the brakes a bit there to try and hang it around the outside, but it's just going to get understeer. We see the cars on the outside, so we stay all the way over to the left here, take that position, and now we're going to try and take a position from the very runners. He ended up going into the back of the Supra there and losing himself a bit of momentum. We've got 2 cars in front with penalties, so we know that they're free positions, so we're just going to be a bit careful. We're going to go to the left-hand side of the track, just try and make sure we don't get hit by anyone from behind. You can see there, the Veyron flashing his lights. That's not because he's flashing at us. That's because he's probably a controller user who hasn't remapped his controls for the headlights. So many people do that. One thing you should do is get that headlight flashing remapped, because people are going to think you're flashing at them and you're not. It's just the way that the game works, the way that PD set it up. So up to P6 here now. We've got the car in front with a penalty, so that's going to be P5. And then we've got to try and chase some of the cars up ahead further up. So you can see we've got another Alpha in front of us there in P4. We're going to get this position off the GTR, and that's going to be an easy one, obviously, as he takes the position, takes the penalty, and now up into P5 by the end of lap 1. So fast forward the action as we get into the braking zone, and we can see this is a common mistake. This is not this type of mistake that he makes there. I've seen it 100 times. I've done it. Everyone does it. So them kind of mistakes are going to happen for every type of driver. So he shouldn't feel too embarrassed by that, because we've all done that mistake. But now we are challenging for the podium again here. You can see he's got a penalty. So again, we know that we're going to get that position, so we're just going to be a bit cautious when we overtake him, how we go for it. He runs a little bit wide there. That gives us the opportunity straight away, because he's going to lose all momentum on the exit, and that's a free position for us up into P3 now. And now, again, we're coming up to the lead battle in this race, and it all looks fairly clean at the moment, so hopefully we can get up behind them and get a position done. So let's see, as we go through these corners, trying to work our way through, and getting closer and closer and closer. And then as we come into the last corner, P2 goes for a bit of a fake send, and then I'm not sure if there's a little bit of contact there. It looks fairly tidy for this kind of lobby, but we managed to get our position done. Now I go to the right hand side here, because I wasn't sure about if he had cut me off a little bit there, so took the safer route round the outside, had the momentum, and now we've got the slipstream, as I'm not sure what that back marker's doing in P14, just weaving around the track. He's been lapped now, but we're going to get that slipstream to the Ferrari. We're going to go for a little fake here, go to the right, up the inside, brake nice and early, get the car slowed down, and that is the lead in this race. So again, we've managed to get ourselves up into P1, and that is going to stay there. So a nice little P1 in this race, and I think now we're going to start upgrading, because we've obviously done a few races that we've not shown you here, as we've had some races that weren't quite as entertaining, but you can see now we are up into the lobbies, and now this is actually really nice to see. I'm going straight to lap 4 because there wasn't much that went on. We got ourselves into the lead quite easily without much effort. Now he goes for a move, he sends it a bit too far back, he has contact, and you can see straight away he puts his flash, his hazard lights on, and he's saying sorry there, and he actually lets us back through. This is one of the best things I've seen going from early lobbies, because on these type of races you don't expect people to be driving where they let you back through. A lot of what you expect is people to just push you out of the way and carry on, but he lets us back through, and gives us that position, and we end up winning the race by 2.5 seconds. So really nice to see from that Lamborghini driver. Brilliant stuff. Hope to see more of that in the lower lobbies on different regions as well. So again, we're into one of the later races now as a D rank driver. You can see we're a D rank driver now, and we're A on SR. So the SR is going up. It takes a while to get it to S. We were just very close to S in this race, because you can see some of the Riot drivers at the front were at DS drivers. So we're verging on picking up that S rating for sportsmanship as we're working our way through. And now we're going to go into this race expecting a little bit of a better race, because obviously they are DS. Now, what I would say is one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in Gran Turismo happened in this race. It was absolute perfection. So keep watching, and hopefully you'll have a good time when you see what happens. So again, into the braking zone, you can see P12 having a little look up the inside. Now there's contact there. That was a bit too much. We're going to just back out, because we don't want to push P12 wide. But P11 there, absolutely sending it, hitting P12, not giving the position back. A little bit naughty in my personal opinion, but you're going to see a lot of that. And now P12 obviously getting a bit annoyed at the contact from the Ferrari, has a moment. We're on the inside of the Ferrari, doesn't even know we're there. That is one thing I will say about the drivers in some of the lower lobbies. The awareness of knowing where other cars are seems a bit limited. Like, they don't actually know you're there when you're up on the inside. They might not expect it, as luckily the ghosting system saves us there as the GTR loses control. But we're up to P12 and making our way through on this lap one. Not as many positions as we would normally like to gain, but we have gained a few positions. And you can see up ahead we've got contact going on there. You can see a bit of smoke kicking up off the cars, so that's normally the sign there's been a little bit of chaos. And as we go through the corner, overtaking one car, we have another car off the track on one side of the track, and we had another car off the track on the right hand side, this silver in front of us. So a couple of positions gained there. Not sure what went down. Probably your usual bit of late braking, hits the car in front, then spins, the other car goes off on the right hand side. But into P9, start of lap 2. Let's see if we can make our way forward and gain some more positions in this daily race B. Now this was actually quite an exciting race to do from the back of the grid on these early lobbies, because a lot of people know Interlagos, so a lot of people have reasonable speed, and it was actually quite entertaining to do. I really enjoyed working our way through these ranks. And you can see now in front of us we've got P8 there with half a second penalty. Ran a little bit wide out of the first corner on the first chicane. You're going to get half a second for that, even though he probably didn't gain anything. It's PD's penalty system. You know, even if you lose a second, if you go wide, you'll get a penalty. So hopefully on Gran Turismo they can make a better system that understands when you've lost time and picked up dirty tyres, because sometimes it isn't really correct how you gain a penalty on GT7. But we know we're going to get a free position off this Mercedes, but we're going to go round the outside of him there. We're going to have to back out that a little bit as we're downshifting really aggressively in this Evo, trying to understand how to drive it. That was too aggressive on the shifting. But yeah, that's one thing again. It takes me a couple of laps to get used to cars again. Into the braking zone. Now we can go into first gear because we're only a little bit slow, and we make that move and up into P8. Now we've got a Ferrari and a Lamborghini battling side by side there. Is the Lamborghini going to go for a move into the braking zone? You can see brakes a little bit late. Is that a little bit of contact there? I'm not too sure. It looks okay actually. It looks like there was fairly clean racing going on. Now the Lamborghini is going to go up the inside. I'm going to stay to the left hand side. Now I was going to actually bump draft him here, but the game actually ghosted me. Watch this. Yeah, actually you can see the car ghost instantly, and he goes to the right hand side to cover it off. But that gives us a position up into P6, and now we can work our way forward to the next group of cars. You can see we're going to get the braking done now. I was a little bit worried here whether the Ferrari would brake really late, but again, seems like the skill level has gone up slightly from the E drivers. Obviously it will do, but you can noticeably see that skill increase in the braking. They seem a bit more under control. But you can see here on lap 4, we're catching up to this battle here for P5 and P4. We take the inside, managed to slow the car down before the Scirocco in front of us, and up into P5, and now we've got to try and get ourselves ahead of this Scirocco. So going to brake as late as we can here. Can we go for a move round the outside? Let's see what we can do. We can't really go for that, so we're going to just hold a tight line, see if we can take a more narrow line. But he holds that narrow line quite well, but he opens the door up. He makes a little bit of a mistake, a bit of understeer from that front wheel drive, and that is up to P4 for ourselves. And you can see we're slowly making our way forward here. Now by the time we get to lap 5, we've got a Lamborghini in front of us, and again we're going for that podium position. Can we get this move done? We're going to have a little look down the left, but you can see there he goes really defensive and actually makes a mistake. He goes too defensive. That line causes him to run wide on the exit, so he didn't need to go that far over on the track. He needed to give himself a little bit of entry line into the corner, but that too narrow line basically sacrificed his exit speed. And that jumps us straight back up into P3. And now we are catching up to a Supra in P2. And this has to be one of the best things that's ever happened to me on Gran Turismo 7. It was absolutely brilliant, partially because of Gran Turismo 7's really excessive ghosting system in these earlier lobbies, but it was actually brilliant to see that it worked, and it caused this driver to look a little bit embarrassed. So as we're coming into the final corners of lap 5, he clearly does not want to lose that P2 position, but we want that P2 position. So we have a little look up the inside. We're not going to go for that, we're too far back. We take a nice line to give ourselves a good exit. Now we've got the run on him, he goes to the right, and I'm thinking, why has he done that? He's tried to give me the space, but no, he wanted to take me out, and luckily for ourselves, he ended up absolutely ruining his own race there. So absolutely brilliant to see. Let's have a little watch of that again. So on board with the Supra, we're on the inside. He leaves the door open on purpose because his plan is to take me out. He tries to take me out. The ghosting system takes over. He's off the track. He's spinning into the barrier. He's facing the wrong way, and he's going to lose a couple of positions just to add a little bit more embarrassment there for him. So brilliant to see. One of the funniest things I've seen on Gran Turismo in quite a while. So really happy that happened. And hopefully you have enjoyed this video. That is going to be it for the first few races. We're going to go through to the C and B lobbies for the next video that we do from this last to first account, and hopefully show you some highlights, some good racing, some bad racing, some sly racing, I'd say, and yeah, as we progressed it up all the way to A+. So make sure you subscribe for that video, hit the like button, and I'll see you again. Thanks again for watching, everyone.